Hello there, UKDCers. This is a very special knife loaned to me by Anthony Dyer. Thank you so much, dude. This is hugely appreciated. These are around about just shy of £200, depending on your configuration. Obviously, it's a custom, so prices are going to vary depending on the materials you choose. So that's just a roundabout figure. He has a website which will be in the description, so you can go and look yourself. But this is a Shing Field Duty, Shing knives. These are made in England, as you can see there, Shing England field grade, out of 52-100, which I've no experience with personally. Just a quick bit of research on the internet suggests to me that it's a little bit better than 1095 for edge retention, but it's mainly aimed at toughness. But don't take my word for that. Just either do your own research or check for yourself by buying some and using it, because I really don't know what I'm talking about with 52-100. That's just a brief cursory glance. You have these wonderful micarta covers. Look at it. I don't think I've seen micarta done that well before. It's just unbelievably smooth. That all feels like one piece. I can't feel any difference on that. Even there, the whole thing just feels like it was molded together. The back spring and the liners. There you go, and obviously you can see there. This doesn't have a half stop. It's just sort of like this half rock here, and gets all the way down to about there, and then gently clicks into place. You have a nail nick to open it, and you have sort of just a little thing here, so that if you do close it on yourself, you'll be holding it in this position, which by the way is just supremely comfortable, but I'll get onto that in a second. And the idea is that pushes your finger out of the way, and then that sharpening tool just sort of clears it. If you go much further than that, yeah, it's probably going to cut you, but you know, it's a little bit of protection and it's better than nothing. I certainly find it more useful than a half stop. Let's actually get the microfiber. The ergos on this are just, I wish you could just feel this through the screen. I really do. This is about the most comfortable traditional I've ever handled. No joke. Not an exaggeration. I know I've said things like that. Probably a bit more than I should have, but seriously, this thing is beyond words. In, like, you know, for a traditional, it's not like your fingers sort of mold into it or anything, but goodness, like, all four fingers fit there. You've got a nice big handle, which I like and is lacking on a lot of like English like legal knives. You can put your thumb on half of the sort of covers here and then half on the actual blade, so that you can press down on there if you want, or you can press down on the knife. You've got a nice strong spring on this one. I'll do a proper spring strength test, and that'll be in the description as always. You've got brass liners all across. Of course, no washers on this. Oh, perfectly centered, which is, you know, again, pretty difficult on a traditional. Zero blade play, even though there's no washers. It's just brass liners, and you can see that it's rubbing on those brass liners, of course, because the brass liners are effectively the washers on this traditional here, as is the case with many. you can see the liners each side, the covers each side are extremely well matched. I think if you stare hard enough, I think that this side is maybe very slightly thicker than this side about here. But this is a handmade knife. I mean, that is phenomenal work. I think the only thing I found on this knife that I think could probably be improved is the walk and talk. It's not bad. It's certainly better than the proper, but it's not what I'd call amazing. You know, that's a nice click in there. Even this one, has a nice solid snap, whereas this one, but I think that's more down to the fact that it sort of comes all the way to about there before it actually snaps down, whereas the others they'll snap down about there. This is not a light knife. I've weighed this. This is 107 grams compared to this, which is about 80. So it feels very sturdy in hand, I would say. It's certainly not too heavy, just, reassuringly heavy, I would say. But yeah, this is absolutely on my hit list. This is everything I had hoped this was going to be. I mean, this has multiple problems. I maintain I still do like this knife. It's not, it's not what I'd call great, but I like some of the little flaws on it. I think it makes it a bit more, gives it some character, some custom character kind of thing. However, the state it came in was a bit of a piss take, and it has things that I wouldn't call character. They're just a bit shit, which is things like you can't really hear it, but there's a bit of a crunch in the action on this where it's just a little dirty in there, and that's not me, that's just how it comes. Some others will attest to that as well. This, on the other hand, has none of those flaws. This is almost too perfect. But I love this so much so that I got to get me one. It's almost like a challenge for this year. I need to get a Shing. Anthony's told me before how good they are, and it's one of those things where I'm like, yeah, I'll take your word for it. I'll look at it at some point, but now that I've seen one, it's boom, high priority, straight to the front of the list. This was 170. If you'd have told me for £10 more I could get this Shing, I love this knife. This GC is among my favourites, for real. I would trade this for this Shing any day of the week. Absolutely would do it. That's how much I like the Shing. It's in a class of its own, that Shing. I don't know what else I can say really. It's hard to review an object like this without being able to pass it to someone. But just again, like, look at that. There's no the finish on that. This is a guy that knows what he's doing. This is the standard for very good quality English knife, like, craftsmanship, I guess. This is everything I'd hoped out of like British custom knife making. I've been let down. That said, this is one example, and I've had people that had very good examples of the Michael Mays as well. So if you've had a bad Shing, let me know. I'm still going to get one, and I'll tell you my experience when I get it, if I'm able to. But like I said, this isn't the be all and end all. There are plenty of people that have had perfect experiences with Michael May. Slick Slices has had two of them, which were apparently very good quality. I thought Paddy's was pretty damn good as well. Mine was just a bit shit, but like I said, it's all right now. But it's not on the level of this. Even Paddy's good one, I wouldn't say comes close to this. This is in a league of its own. So yeah, absolutely, just super impressed by this. Sure you don't want to let me keep it, Anthony? No, I'll send it straight back to you. I've had it for long enough. Thank you very much, guys. Cheers.